I can't believe I'm filming this little video. Well, Solomon, I actually can't believe that we're filming this video. Honestly, when I say this has been the quickest year of my life, honestly, it feels like yesterday that we were bringing you home. Like, it's absolutely mad how fast this year's gone, and to think that I'm sat here reflecting on a year of your life is just insane to me. Like, I can't believe I'm doing this. But this year has been the most incredible year of my life, of your dad's life, of everybody around you's life, to be honest. You are everything that we ever dreamed of for our firstborn, and we just absolutely adore you. We found out that we were pregnant, we almost immediately decided on your name. Your name actually means peace, and then your middle name, Jessie, actually means gift. And we decided on the gift part of it because, as a lot of people would know, and as you probably know, it wasn't really in our plan for you to arrive. You fully made the decision to kickstart the Harding family. But, you know, God has a funny way of working, and you came, and you have just been the best gift that we could have ever asked for in our whole entire world. So when we found out that we were pregnant with you, it was a bit of a shock, but there was just something super special about the whole thing. It was a big thing, like, you know, me and your dad, like, it was a big thing for us to get our heads around that we were going to be a mum and a dad. But just carrying you and going through those 40 weeks and 2 days that we had together was just the most special thing. So this is you at 7 weeks old when we first saw you, actually. We found out we were pregnant literally a week before this. You were a little tiny little worm, and I remember coming home saying, yeah, we've had the scan, he's literally just a worm, but you were the most special little worm, I think, in the whole entire world. Then we went and had a 12-week scan when you were slightly, obviously, older. And can you see that there? That's your leg. What I will say about this scan was it just brought you to life, like, so much more. Even though we'd seen you before, like, the only thing that we really saw at that point was your heartbeat, and it was just, that was lush in itself. But then when we actually saw you at 12 weeks old, I just remember this tiny little fetus with the arms in the air, the legs kicking round. You were just moving around, and it was the most surreal thing in the whole entire world. I remember being like in awe of what was in front of me. Auntie Fee actually came to that scan, and your mum's, and your Auntie Fee just broke down in tears, Solomon. She just cried because I think, you know, we were all just a bit overwhelmed by the whole situation. But when we saw you at 12 weeks on that screen, in that scan, it just became so much more real. 14 weeks we decided to tell the world. We decided that we wanted everybody to know, because you started growing and so did my tummy. With people knowing that you were on the way, it just kind of brought it once again a little bit more real to us that actually our worlds were literally gonna change with your little arrival. And now we went and had this 20-week scan. That was the scan that they told us that you were going to be a little boy. But we didn't tell anybody. We decided that we wanted to tell everybody in a gender reveal, which we did. And your Daki actually burst into tears when he found out that he was going to be a Daki to a little baby boy. Everybody just was so excited, and you were so loved. Like, just growing you and, you know, watching you move around in my tummy. It was the maddest thing, like, just watching you flip from one side of my tummy to the other, and little kicks and all of that kind of stuff. It was just crazy.
When's the due date?
29th of July. I remember, like, stroking my tummy, just thinking about you, who you were gonna be, what was your future gonna be like, all of that good stuff that you think about, like, you know. And I just, yeah, just waiting your arrival for all that time was the longest time, but also feels like a blink of an eye before you made your arrival. Then on the 1st of August 2020 at 2 o'clock in the morning, you decided to make your appearance. Because you decided to poo and then swallow it, when you actually came out there were a couple of complications, and that was the scariest thing ever. They took you to the corner and they did what they had to do to get you kind of going, and then I just remember hearing, I was lying on the table, I remember hearing your scream just come from the other side of the room, and then your dad went over and he grabbed you and he brought you over to me, and I just remember saying, "Hello my baby," and you turned your whole head and you looked at me, and Solomon, I will never just be able to describe to you how that felt for me, to just see you and know that you just knew my voice, and it was just the most beautiful moment of my whole entire life. But then you had to go to intensive care because, like I said, you know, you decided that that's what you want to do with the whole poo sitch, and you went into intensive care. I remember going up and seeing you, and you were like there and you had all your pipes on and all that kind of stuff, and every time like the doctors would like give us like an update, it would always be good news because you did so well when you were in intensive care. And it would always be good news, but I would always burst out into tears because I would just be so happy, and they'd be like, "Oh, don't cry." I'd be like, "No, but I'm just so happy." Because it was really tough. Like when we were holding you, we had to hold you with the tubes, and you know, seeing you in that way, it really wasn't the nicest thing at all, but you were so incredible. Like, you know, they would say to us, "He's got to be in for this many days," and then all of a sudden, you know, your infection rate like halved, and then you could come and be with me, and then we could go and be with your dad at home. And honestly, like the hardest days, you know, of my life, and probably, you know, a rough start for you as well, but you know, you did so well, and I just remember being so proud and sending photos to the family and everyone, and your dad would come and spend hours with you in intensive care. He would spend hours with you, just holding you and feeding you and changing your nappies. Like, it was just such a special time, even though the circumstances were a bit weird. Then you got to come home, and when you came home, the whole Morgan family had been to the house and just decorated the whole place. Like, if you want to know that you're loved, boy, like honestly, there was banners, there was balloons. It was just so special to just have all of that, and the biggest welcome. And this is how big you were. You were actually 5 pounds and 8 ounces, but this is how small you were. And when I look at you now, I think, I can't even believe that you were this tiny, but you were this tiny. This was your first baby grow that you met everybody in, and you had the tiniest little feet. Like, look at your little socks. I actually have this little box for you, Solly, of everything that we actually kept. Even these wires from the time you were in intensive care. We kept it all. We've got your first little dummy in here that you ever used. We've got your little hat that they popped on you when you were born. We've got a good little box here full of all the goodness. And these are your little feet. So we brought you home, and you were loved literally from the moment you were born. Like, before you were born, you were loved from the moment I think we found out that you existed. You were just so loved. But everybody wanted to come and meet you, and you met so many people in that first week or two of your life. Like, we did so much in that first week. You know, from your first bath to your first pram ride, to meeting your great-grandparents and your great-grandmother, to meeting your family, to meeting grandparents, and of course your aunties, who are absolutely obsessed with you from day one, and still are to this day. You were showered with incredible gifts and so many wonderful things. Like, I just remember those couple of days just being in a little newborn bubble with you, and you were just the best baby. You were the best baby from day one. You were so good at sleeping, you were so good at feeding. You were honestly a little dream, and you still are just a little dream, but those first couple of days were just so magical, and we were absolutely just obsessed with you. you have just developed beautifully. Like all the time the health visitors would love you because you'd just be such a smiley baby. I think from the moment you learned how to smile, you didn't stop. You just every day just beam with joy, and it is just the most beautiful thing. Your smile, you're gonna be having the worst day, Solly, but when you smile at somebody, it just changes the mood. You are just a luscious little thing, and we're so proud of you.
Đi sayang. Look at that face. Love you. I love you, I love you, I love you.
Watching you grow up this past year has literally been the biggest joy of our life. You have grown up almost overnight, it feels like in the blink of an eye. You are 1 year old, and it literally feels like yesterday we were bringing you home. But this past year, you know, we've watched you learn how to eat food. You know, you started off on porridge, then you went to mashed carrots and peas, and then like literally we gave you anything and you would eat it. Like you would just love eating food, and that was such an experience. We absolutely loved and still do love feeding you. You would roll around, you would learn to sit up, you went to your auntie's first football game at home, then you got to go to your real football game with Auntie Fee where she was playing for Wales, and we dressed you up, and you loved that experience. You absolutely loved that experience. I don't think I've ever seen you so happy, and with the girls on the pitch, you just adored it. You absolutely adored it. You got to experience your first Christmas, which was just incredible. Like you had all these toys and you probably had no idea what was going on, but you just loved it, and it was just luscious thing. You were so cute, like so cute in all the Christmas gear. It was the best thing. I could go on and on about the memories that we've shared in this past year, watching you grow, watching you learn. And you're just incredible. You've learned to crawl this past year, you've learned to sit up, you play, you climb, you laugh, you smile. You're just the most beautiful little thing in the whole entire world. Yeah.
Hello. Excuse me. Excuse me. Excuse me.
You know, being a mum has been just the joy of my life. They say that when you have a child, it's like a tiny little piece of your heart just outside, wandering around. And it's the hardest thing because you want to protect that little person and you want to be there for that little person in absolutely everything. And with that comes sleepless nights, comes worrying, comes Googling mad things all the time, wondering if what you're doing is right, wondering if, you know, your breathing is okay, wondering if your temperature is okay, wondering if you're feeding okay, wondering what to do next, at what point do you transition to this. And, you know, no one ever gives you a guide as a mum, and, you know, you just kind of wing it and see what happens. But what I will say is, even though it's so hard having a little piece of your heart running around, it is the biggest joy of your whole entire life, and it has been the biggest joy of my whole entire life. And I just want to say that I promise to protect that little piece of my heart that is you, that is running around this big wide world for the rest of my life. And I can't wait to see you grow, for you to learn, for you to experience all that life has, for you to fall in love, for you to go to school, for you to adventure, travel, see the world, for you to achieve things, for you to do what you love doing. And, you know, that is just my heart's desire for you. It's for you to just love life. I want to promise you that as your mummy, I'm gonna love you, support you, be in your corner. I'm gonna celebrate you, I will protect you, I will always, always, always be there, no matter who you are, no matter what you do, no matter what life turns out like. I just want you to know that I am always 1,000 million trillion gazillion % gonna be there for you, because you are my absolute world. Me and your dad just adore you. You're the luscious little thing. I can't wait to see you grow. I can't wait to see what the second year of your life looks like. I can't wait to see what your third year of life looks like, your 18th, your 50th, God willing. Like, if I'm still around by then, like, I just cannot wait. I cannot wait to see who you're going to become. I cannot wait to see more of your personality develop. We've already seen so much, and I'm already so proud of the boy that you are and who you're becoming. And I am so excited to just see what these next couple of years look like. So, Solly, Solobom, Solo Man, Solly Ollie Ollie, every name that we have for you. Every single name that we have for you, even Mr. Monkey Man. And literally, we call you Mr. Monkey Man, and I have no idea where that even came from, right? But we just call you Mr. Monkey Man all the time, and we laugh because we're like, what? Why do we even call you that? Thank you so much for this past year. I absolutely love you. We absolutely love you. I'm so proud of you. So yeah, happy birthday, my boy. I love you so, so, so much.
He's a piggy!